Hello friends, in this video we are going to look how to write a JavaScript function. So here we will write a basic function which receives no parameter and it does not return anything to its color. So let's start with our first JavaScript function. Like other programming languages, a JavaScript function is a group of statements which can be called by a function name. So the calling is equivalent to other language. So there will be a name given to the function and we will call that function by its name. So like other programming languages, the function is for code reusability. JavaScript functions can accept parameters and return values. But here in this tutorial, we will create our first simple function which receives no parameter and it returns nothing, as already said. The function in this tutorial will refer an HTML h3 tag or element and assigns a text to it. We will see how to invoke it on click of a HTML button. So here we will write a function, then we will create a button, and when you click the button it will call the JavaScript function, and the function will refer the HTML h3 element which is part of the HTML document and assigns a text to it. So if you see here, here we have a title, len JavaScript, then inside the body we have a h1 tag. After that there is a h3 element, and the h3 element is not having any text like h1. If you see, we have some heading text. h3 also a heading. In HTML we have a heading that varies from h1 to h6. So here we are using a h3 heading and ID we gave it as h3 out. So this is the ID we will refer in the JavaScript portion to assign a text to it. So if you see here, in the head portion of the HTML document, we opened our script, then we defined a function. So the keyword here is function, that tells that we are going to define a function. Greet is the name given to a function, and that open and close parenthesis says that this function does not receive any parameter. So inside we declared a variable greet message, and this variable is local to this function. So outside you cannot call, you cannot refer this greet msg. So the greet msg is local to this function. Next, if you see here, document, the document object refers the current HTML document in which this JavaScript is running. Then we are using a function get element by ID. Then we are passing the ID h3 out. That means here in this in this HTML document, we are referring the h3 element because the ID for the h3 element is h3 out. After that, we are accessing the inner HTML property. Then we are assigning the greet msg. All right. Now our function is ready, which is accessing the h3 element of our HTML document. Then it is assigning a string to it dynamically. So when this function will run, who is invoking it? All right, now we will do that. So here we are creating a input of type button. Then we are naming this button. We are setting a text or caption to this button as call greet. Then on click, which is the event. That means this input button will fire a click event when user clicks the button. So when such a event is fired, we are calling the greet. So altogether what it does is when user clicks the button, it calls the function. So the function greet will act as a handler for the click event of call greet button. Now let us go to the demo. So here is the JavaScript, and if you see, the important elements are this h3 and the ID is h3 out, which we are referring here inside our greet function. Then we defined a button value is called greet, and on click it is going to call our greet function. Now we will execute this in IE. So it just displayed our HTML content, and our JavaScript function will get called when I click the call greet button. So now let us do that. And if you see, once I click call greet, it referred the blank h3 tag and assigned a text welcome, hello, welcome back. So that's what we are doing here, right? We declared a variable, then we are accessing the h3 element at runtime using our client-side JavaScript. Then using the inner HTML, we are assigning this message. So once you click the button, you are seeing hello, welcome back. That's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.